Tweet and Talk number 22. We have a great topic for you tonight, teachers teaching teachers, and we have a great moderator for you, Stephan Hughes, all the way in Brazil. But before we do that, then just going to encourage y'all to follow along with us on the Google Hangout at bit.ly/tweettalk22. If you're hearing me say that, then that means that you're already doing so, so feel free to spread the word. Also, on Twitter, we are doing a back channel with the hashtag EduMatch. Speaking of EduMatch, if you want to join us as our featured person of the day, then please sign up at edumatch.education. All right, so tonight's topic, once again, will be teachers teaching teachers. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Stephan. So thank you so much, Stephan, for moderating today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm activated now. Can you hear me now, Sarah? Yeah, great. Hi, everybody, and thank you for coming out. I want to thank the panelists for being here, too. Quickly introduce myself. As Sarah told you, Stephan Hughes, all the way down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And yeah, just really, really thrilled to talk about this. This is something that is close to my heart as I am directly involved in teacher training. I work with teaching English as a foreign language here in Rio de Janeiro, right? Everybody speaks Portuguese down here. So this is my job, to teach teachers, get them to teach other people to speak English. Speak, write, read, listen, you know, the works. So yeah, that's me. I want to introduce the rest of the panel. So I'll ask Carla first up to introduce herself. And then we move around to, we have Jennifer C, Jennifer G, and we have Valerie. So Carla, go ahead, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Carla. I'm the Instructional Technology Coordinator for a school district in South Carolina, and I'm really excited about this Tweet and Talk because that's what I do. I help teachers integrate technology in their classroom, and since there's one of me and I have 23 schools, it's really important to make sure that I'm able to assist and help in the right way.
Okay, thank you. So one of you in 23 schools, that's like multiplying yourself really, really much. And that's what we see a lot happens with teacher, trainers, teacher coordinators. We have, the ratio is extremely unfavorable in terms of getting the job done, but we work miracles anyway, I think, right? Let me go ask now Jennifer C. Thank you, Carla. Jennifer C., up to you now, please.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Jennifer Casa-Todd. I'm the literacy consultant and a lead learner for the 21C initiative up in Ontario, Canada. It was a beautiful day here today. I'm excited because, like Carla, I too am involved in leading professional development and learning for teachers, and I have been doing that for 5 years. And not to one-up you, Carla, but I'm 7 to 12, and we have 108 schools in our district. So I help in some way, shape, or form to support all of them. And I'm happy to be here.
Wow. Well, I was going to say something, but luckily my mic was muted, so you couldn't hear what I just said. But whoa, Jennifer, that is fantastic. You have to show us what you do, how you make that happen, because the amount, I can imagine the amount of work you have, and you're probably swamped down. So thank you for coming, spending your time on a Sunday to share your ideas here with us. All right, so over to the next Jennifer G, sorry. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Jennifer Gwilt. I teach in Michigan, and I teach high school math, Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, and I spend a lot of time outside of school going to ed camps and different conferences and presenting there and learning from other people. So right now I'm teaching, but working on helping other teachers as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Even if, oh sorry, just a minute. Even if you're not in a coordinating role, you end up teaching anyway, because we end up teaching others, we share with others, and the more and more we share with our colleagues, it becomes a learning experience for us as well. So like it or not, or let's say, informally or formally, we are, to a certain extent, teaching teachers all the time. Last but not least, Valerie, please let us hear from you. Introduce
Hi,
yourself quickly.
I'm Valerie Lewis here in Georgia. I'm in language arts, 10th and 11th grade special ed teachers. And Stephan, you kind of said it best. I'm not in a official teacher leader role, but I feel that because I'm learning from my colleagues and we kind of exchange information, we're teaching each other by default. So I enjoy it every day. The process keeps me going.
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, there was a little glitch there. Valerie, didn't mean that you were wrong. It wasn't like a buzzer or anything like that. But no, it was just I think probably connection problem. But anyway, I know when I was thinking of the topic, I came up actually with a tongue twister. So I want to read it out before we actually get to the questions. If teachers teach teachers teaching, teachers teach teachers to teach teachers to teach teaching. I don't know if you got that, but we'll share that out, pan that out on Twitter as well. Sarah, maybe you can share that on Twitter. It's a great tongue twister. But the fact of the matter is, I think even if you're not in a leadership role, I think the best teaching is when you are, sharing informally, because it's more lateral, it's not top down, it's on the same level. So that's the big challenge. All right. So let's get to the first question. All right, and it talks about the role of teaching. And I remember Jennifer C had a quick, she was quite taken aback by this question. So I'll let her answer it first. It says teaching teachers is like preaching to the converted, right? So how true is that for you? How do you think that makes sense, Jennifer? Jennifer C, go ahead.
What's great about my district is, and a lot of the professional learning in which I involve teachers is actually not forced PD, it's voluntary. So preaching to the converted makes, some sense to me, but really, I think we can't assume that teachers are coming in as empty vessels. Just like in classes, we can't assume that students don't have prior knowledge, experience that can really bring lots of important things to the table. And I think that's whether or not they're converted about the topic you're teaching or not. I think we really have to be mindful of that. And I also always try to begin my PD for teachers with some sort of formative assessment to get a sense of where are you coming from, so if it's about technology, how proficient are you in these tools, so that when they come in, there is this sense that we're not beginning necessarily from scratch. We could begin from where people are. So that's what I would have to say about that.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Jennifer. It's about that. Yeah. Not thinking or assuming teachers are an empty slate, right? So that's very, very interesting. Very important. Carla, I'll ask you to step in here now, please.
I think that it's probably about, in my opinion or in my experience, it's probably about 50% true. Like Jennifer C said, if the PD is not forced and teachers are there voluntarily, they already have the passion and they just kind of want to know more. They want to do more for their students. So when you talk about engaging learners and engaging students, they want that. They want to grow. So it's not really as much of a hard sell. Because I focus on technology throughout the district, though, and our district is moving into we have a 3-year plan for one-to-one, then I also have to deal with teachers who are not converted, that they don't believe that technology can benefit and assist their students. And so then it becomes a hard sell to them to figure out, to share and help them understand that what I'm sharing is meaningful. So, I definitely think, and I'm a big fan of choice. So when teachers are where they choose to be, they are a lot more open than when teachers are forced to be there.
That's great, Carla. So, teachers are just like students, isn't that right? Because we asking the students, we get our students, or we want our students to choose all the time. We want them to choose, want them to, make choices. But when it comes to teachers, they apparently don't have choices, or we treat them as if they shouldn't have choices. Jennifer G, Valerie, would you like to answer that, or can we move on to the second question? Because I think it ties in very nicely with the second question, what Jennifer C and Carla have already added to the discussion. But would you like to add something about the first question?
Yeah,
Valerie?
I'll jump in really quickly and say, when I think about a preacher preaching to the converted, even though we assume that everyone has been baptized and saved by the blood, they're still sinners. There are some in that congregation that are still sick, and they still need to hear a message, though they know biblically what's sound. We have to make that same, when you're thinking about teachers, we can't just assume every teacher is at the same place at the same time. We're all healthy, in a sense, in our professional growth. There are some that are sickly, would you, at the bottom, that needs that coaching and coaxing, and then there are those that are professionally healthy and sound that will go and do whatever it takes necessary. So when I saw that simile there in that comparison, I had to think about a church congregation and how everyone in that congregation, though they may have the same general belief, but they are still at different levels in their spiritual walk. And we have to make that same connection to teachers as well.
I just want to add.
Great. Yeah, go ahead, Jennifer. Go ahead.
I agree with everybody else. One of the things that I've noticed, we're a one-to-one district, and just because we all have iPads and we all love technology, doesn't mean that everyone knows how to use it and doesn't know what to ask. So finding those things that everybody needs and training them on that is important, and not just blanket. Everybody has to learn a particular app to use that might not be useful for many people. And some people still, they want technology, but they still think the old school way is the best way.
Excellent point. Very good point there. Thank you very much, Jennifer. And this is wonderful. I don't know if you can indulge me here. I'm going to skip maybe the second question because it kind of lapped over, and some of the answers here with Jennifer C. So Carla said it talked a bit about that, meeting teachers where they are. And maybe we can go to question number 3. And I'm going to use my prompt here as well to help you maybe see what I'm talking about, as it says there. Oh yeah, what it says, right? I don't know if you can see that. Right, it says wasn't effective, not necessarily the best way to show teachers what they have to do. All right, so what's the best way to show teachers what they have to do? And I would like to hear what you guys have to say here, starting with Jennifer C.
Okay, so me personally, I learned by doing. So for me, the most effective way to show teachers what they have to do is have them play, have them engage in whatever it is that we're trying to learn in a very hands-on, practical, connected to the classroom experience. Have a discussion about what this looks like, sounds like, feels like, and build in time, incorporate time, because I know in my experience that if we don't build the time in when we're together, wherever it is that we are during our workshop, people are busy at school, so it really doesn't happen, and we can't expect that teachers can then go and use their own time. I mean, many people do, I know I do, but that really can't necessarily be an expectation. They could go back and consolidate, but I think we need to really honor the time that we have together, and that time is very much about doing and learning together. And I'm also a huge proponent, because I'm able to in my district, of co-teaching. So when teachers are interested in delving deeply, I'm able to go into the class and co-plan and co-teach with them, which helps them to feel more supported.
That's it. Yeah, co-teaching I think is one of the best ways, because you put yourself in the same position, rather than saying, hey, do this, do that, because it sounds wonderful. I mean, I'm talking from my perspective of foreign language teaching. It's wonderful to say, no, well, you just do this and the student will naturally, be able to speak in another language or be able to write and produce. And teachers saying, but yeah, let me see you do that with, 20 students all of them with different backgrounds, or and they're having their own difficulties. So it's not that easy. So co-teaching is probably one of the best ways. Jennifer G, please say something. Say something to us.
I'm going to piggyback off what Jennifer said. With actually having hands-on, I find that I have the most questions when I'm actually doing something. So if someone's just telling me how to do whatever it is they're teaching, and then I go back to my room and I try to investigate, that's when all my questions come up. So I agree with Jennifer C. that having hands-on and allowing participants to ask those questions, whether it's about whatever we're teaching or how to integrate it, give me an example of how this will be useful in my classroom. Those are better answered, I think, face-to-face when you're sitting right there playing.
All right, yeah. Again, practical work. Although sometimes I know teachers tend to, initially they complain, especially when you get them to do like hands-on stuff. Do I have to? Looks like students, right? Do I have to get up? Do I have to move around? Do I have to actually experiment this? What if it doesn't work? They don't want to, they want to save face in front of their colleagues. But when they actually start doing it, then they realize the benefit of it, and they thank you for it. So I think that's one thing you have to stick. We have to stick to our guns. Yeah, try. Don't be afraid to try and see what happens. Great. I'm gonna, we're in the final stretch, so I'm gonna go to the last question. I'm gonna ask Valerie and Carla to take the last question, which is, what is one thing you would never ask a teacher to do? All right, sounds very philosophical, but I don't know if you can make it really practical here for us. So Valerie, what's one thing you'd never ask a teacher to do?
I would never ask the teacher to do anything that makes them uncomfortable, especially publicly. I think there are some people that have that tendency to be brave and they're extroverts and they'll try anything and they'll do anything and not really care, but I don't. And I specifically, especially when you're talking about technology, I know that alone makes a lot of people nervous. Sometimes even the older teachers that have not, been experienced with having to use all these different tools. So I think that's one thing I would never ask them to do publicly, but then I would set up those one-on-one sessions, as Jennifer C. mentioned, making sure as a teacher, a lead teacher, or a teacher supporting teachers, or an administrator, that they feel supported. Co-plan with them, give them that opportunity to open up and ask those questions, as Jennifer G. mentioned, and then kind of ease them into it, but not put anyone on the spot where they would be uncomfortable.
Okay, yeah. Excellent, thank you. Carla, bring it home for us, please.
I would never ask a teacher to try something new without the appropriate support. I think that where we lose teachers or lose the enthusiasm, they lose the enthusiasm, is that we show them what we've done and then we spend all of their time showing them, and we don't allow them the support to practice and play. And then we say, okay, now you go back on your own free time and you do it. And they don't have it. Teachers just don't have free time. The time that they spend on getting things ready for their classroom, and a lot of times they don't have the time to experiment. So without the appropriate support, I think we're unrealistic in our expectations sometimes. So I would never ask a teacher to do anything or try anything new without the support that they would need to be successful.
Wonderful. I mean, very. Okay. Yeah, because sometimes you have teachers with 2-3 jobs. I know here in Brazil, for example, they have like 12, 14-hour work days. A work schedule is very tight. So, they have like 10, 15 groups. So you can't expect them to, do things, experiment stuff, or even find time sometimes for professional learning out of teaching context. So it's really understanding their needs and working with that, right? Really, really good. Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to add any final words here? Jennifer C., would you like to add anything? Or we turn it back to Sarah so we can round up? Because, I mean, the ideas have been thrown around very good so far.
I guess I just want to say that if we want to see if we want to model best practices, if we want to see student-centered learning in classes, that our professional learning with teachers has to model that. We can't stand and deliver and then expect that anything's going to look different in a classroom. I just think that, you know, we need to be mindful of what we want classrooms to look like, and we need to, if we're leading leaders and teachers, then we need to talk the talk and walk the walk. That would be my concluding thought. Thanks for having me on the panel.
Okay, so let's continue to walk the walk, talk the talk, and do whatever it takes, right? Yeah, that's it. I think if you have to show it, and just this morning I was talking a bit about that with some other people online, and the idea of you have to model stuff. You don't model it if you don't show teachers the importance of it. You can't expect them to do that in their classrooms. Yeah, they have to want it. They have to buy it, and they have to be able to feel it, feel the passion, and just get contagious there. With it has to be contagious. It's something that infects everybody, affects positively. All right. So yeah, that's it. Sarah, over to you. Thank you once again, my panelists, Jennifer C., Jennifer G., Carla, and Valerie, and yours truly, Stephan Hughes. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Really, really nice. And this week I'm going to start teaching my teachers with all these ideas even more. All right. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you so much, Stephan, and thank you so much to everyone who is on panel. Thank you to everyone who is on our Twitter chat. Also, thank you to everyone who chimed in on the Q&A. My apologies for dropping the ball and not seeing those until the very, very last minute, but you all brought up some great questions in the Q&A that maybe we can go ahead and tweet out right after the Google Hangout on air as supplemental questions. So definitely wanted to thank everybody. This is such a great topic, and I have learned so much. I've been like a sponge today. The Twitter chat will be storified and available as an iTunes podcast. Come back next week. We are going to be talking with Dorian Roberts about updating the teaching classics. So, all those books that are in our goodie bag when we first started teaching however many years ago, with the Harry Wongs and all kinds of books like that. So we're going to be seeing how we can update those books with new and improved best practices. So check us out. Anyone can be a panelist. Just leave a comment on our Google Hangout page, which is bit.ly/tweettalk23. Okay, one more time, bit.ly/tweettalk23. All right, so if you want to join us on Slack, we are now on Slack. Check out edumatch.slack.com. And we have some great discussions going on there with a variety of different topics. So definitely looking forward to seeing you there. So we're going to go ahead and sign off. So everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you for joining us, and let's keep the conversations going. All right, good night, everyone.